Weekly Life Challenge. Stronger, happier, better, together. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Life Challenge. In this little episode, I'm going to recap week 11 and introduce week 12. So, in week 11, my challenge was to play. And it was nothing like I expected. So, both my kids got sick this week. Pretty significantly sick. My son had impetigo, I don't know how to say it, which is a bacterial skin infection. And my daughter had scarlet fever, which I didn't even know was still a thing. But both of them ended up on antibiotics for the week, and we spent most of this week 11, kind of quarantined in the house to not infect anybody else, and resting. We did a lot of TV watching. We did a lot of just kind of reading books and laying around and being quiet together. As the week went on, we did do a little bit more, and I tried to get us outside a little bit every day because I thought the vitamin D would do us some good. So there was some playing. Each day we were able to get a board game in, which was good. My kids are 6 and 2, so the 6-year-old can play games, and the 2-year-old can set up the board and get started and then lose interest, but it's still fun to play with them. We did some playing like that, but there was no like soccer or frisbee or anything really intense this week, which is what it is. And actually, I kind of like the way the challenge turned out, even though, of course, I would never wish illness on anybody. But I think I had in my head this idea that I was going to play, I was going to get involved and be active, and that was the challenge. What it turned into was where can I notice, and this is what I thought the challenge was, but this is what I thought the challenge was. It became more seeing what the kids were doing, seeing what there's opportunity to play and joining in, or listening for hey mom, can you whatever, and not coming up with an excuse or continuing with what I thought was important in the moment, but stopping that and participating in when that was. Because when I would say, hey guys, do you want to play this? Hey guys, do you want to do that? Usually they would say no because they were interested in something else, which I think is fantastic, that they can entertain themselves and they have developed, at least the older one, this sense of self-regulation to a certain extent. But when they would say, hey, you want to do a board of Super Mario with me? No, actually, I don't really, but yes, because you're asking me and because it means I am spending time with you, doing something that you enjoy, yes, I will do that. And that's what I did this week. So there was I played a lot of running games and swimming games, and I was surprised how quickly my muscles back here started to hurt from that. And the board games, like I mentioned, and what else we did? Oh, we played Play-Doh. We did play Play-Doh, and it was fun for a little while, and then I got bored, and I still had to clean up the big mess afterwards, which I don't like. But the actual sitting and creating together, we created some characters from Zootopia that we've been watching nonstop around here, and it was fun to work together to decide what else needed to be added to the creation. So that was the week of play. It was not so much active playing, but more being together, just like all the challenges. I spent the week watching, noticing, becoming more aware, becoming more intentional, and I had a good week with the kids despite the fact that they were sick. It was actually kind of a nice, sweet, tender week together. Not much frisbee. So let's move on to week 12. In week 12, this is something completely different. It's a food challenge. I'm going to challenge myself this week to cook and eat vegetarian dinners. There was a time in the past when I was eating and living a near vegan lifestyle, we can say. And there was a time when I transitioned almost to the opposite extreme, where I wasn't eating grains and legumes, polysaccharides, I think, but rather a lot of meats and vegetables. All that to say, I've done a lot of experimentation with my diet, and I've tried a lot of different things, and I've been from one extreme to the other, and I think I've landed in a place that kind of works. I know the kind of foods that make me feel good, and I'm kind of floating in this good-ish realm. But I think it's time for a bit of a challenge in this area, partly because we're in a dinner rut. We're in a very big dinner rut. I had the 6-year-old help me make a list of like a weekly food plan, and he's not so adventurous when it comes to food. He helps me choose very specific things each day. I mean, we tried to make them broad, like Tuesday is Mexican, so I can be a little creative. Thursday is Asian, but Monday and Wednesday we labeled meat, which could be anything: sausage, a roast chicken, pork chops. Like, it could be any kind of meat, but it's meat 2 days a week. So for this challenge, I'm cutting out all the meat. We're going to eat vegetarian dinners. I'm not saying no meat for anybody at all, and I'm not saying no animal products. We'll have eggs, cheese. I don't eat a lot of dairy, but my family does. What I'm hoping is it'll help me to kind of rethink dinner and rethink why it is that we eat the way we eat, and also reconnect with some of the reasons that in the past I had cut out animal foods, and see if we can incorporate a little more of that into our lifestyle. Already on the meal plan, I saved Fridays for vegetarian day, but it usually turns out to just be an omelet because that's easy and fast, and my son can have grated cheese. But I'd like to have more variety. So this week, anyway, all sorts of vegetarian foods, and we'll see which ones the family likes and which ones we can keep in the roster going forward. So please, 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 if you have a favorite vegetarian recipe, anything that doesn't involve meat, please send it to me. I would love to try that out. You can leave the recipes on the website or the Facebook page, and that is weeklylifechallenge.com. Also here on YouTube, and I'm looking forward to a week of no meat at dinner time. Have a good week. If you choose to join along, enjoy your tofu and vegetables, beans, legumes.